Hey, what's happening people? Naughty Morty here, back again with another Battlefield video, and I do apologise guys, I know it's been a little bit of a while since I've last uploaded a video. That's because I've recently moved to a new apartment and I had to get the internet sorted, but we're alive and kicking and ready to get started on the Battlefield 2042 content. So in my absence, DICE have finally showcased the Battlefield we'll be getting at the end of the year, Battlefield 2042. I've got lots of content planned over the coming weeks and months around this, so look forward to seeing regular doses of Morty in your YouTube sub box as we head toward October the 22nd or October the 15th for the pre-order big boys. Now, there's been some great videos covering everything you need to know from the reveals and all the additional info, so I'm not going to really attempt to regurgitate a lot of the same detail for you all. Instead, I wanted to talk about a major element of the concept of Battlefield 2042 and the impact that it's had on the world DICE is creating for us. That's climate change, and particularly why DICE may have chosen to focus their next game around climate change and how they are portraying the potential damage it can do, both in the lore of the game but also in its gameplay. As a concept, I'm not going to try and argue the case for whether climate change exists, but simply look at why and how DICE are using it in the game. And let's be clear, in terms of media, whether it be film, TV or video games, DICE is certainly not the first to use climate change as the main impactful element to provide a narrative around the situation we find ourselves in, particularly when we're going to drop into Battlefield 2042 this October. To be honest, I think DICE has taken a lot of inspiration from cinematic portrayals of the devastating impact climate change can have, from the likes of The Day After Tomorrow, Avatar, and to a lesser extent films like Snowpiercer and The Road, which are probably all worth a watch by the way. Where it gets interesting though is the amount of games which have shown developments and changes in climate previously. I guess this topic is relatively trendy at the moment, with more developers using it as a way to develop a narrative, but also to build tension and to flex their in-game engine's muscles too. One which definitely could be centered around climate change is the Fallout series. Obviously that is man-made in the form of a nuclear fallout, but it still does have an impact on the climate. And another game in a similar vein could be Horizon Zero Dawn or the Horizon series, and this showcases a world which has shown how the climate can bounce back after a disaster as well. So since we've mentioned a few areas where modern media has showcased climate change, now let's look at how DICE is using climate change in the game. First and foremost, we have the Tornado, DICE's showpiece, a dynamic, ever-changing piece of environmental wizardry, I suppose, which might show up or not and doesn't follow the same path. Number 2, we've got the Wall of Sand. Shown in the trailer, you can see the volumetric effects that DICE have built around for smoke also being applied here, so I'm hoping it'll be like the Gulf of Oman storm on steroids. One other feature shown off of the environmental impact are the shifting sands on the map Hourglass. Specifically, these are shifting sand dunes which also feature real-time tracks from vehicles, something we've not really seen before in the Battlefield games. I think the shifting sands concept is a particularly interesting one, as some of you may know a similar effect was featured in Spec Ops: The Line, which released in 2012, and honestly I get serious flashbacks to that game when we're looking at the Hourglass map in particular. I think all of these implementations by DICE will definitely add to the spectacle of the game when it releases, but I hope they don't come at the detriment of the overall gameplay. For example, I don't want the Tornado to become more of a distraction rather than the in-game element which you can use to your own benefit. I am 100% looking forward to finding out what other environmental effects are going to be added though. I can definitely see something like a tsunami on a sea-oriented map would be an incredible sight to behold and could definitely change up the dynamic of the particular map itself. Now, to round off the video, I just want to say I've got a few series in the pipeline surrounding Battlefield 2042, going into a lot more detail about how we get to the point of all-out war and maybe into each of the specialists and what things are going to look like as we approach the release date of the game. So look forward to that and more content from me in the near future. I'm intending on doing 2 videos a week again guys, so as soon as I start pumping that out, there will be a schedule on my Twitter to check that out and make sure that you're well up to date with how I'm tracking and what's going up on the channel. As always, it's been an absolute pleasure, thank you for your time, and I'll catch you in the next one.